Warning: the Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful. Snowflakes should not view this content under any circumstances, even if supervised by a G.I. Joe, Navy SEALs, Army vet, or someone with good common sense. The views and opinions expressed, including the depictions of persons of color, corrupt politicians, white people with or without a tan, haters who have yet to brush their teeth typing angrily in the comment section with hot breath syndrome, do not reflect any official policy or position of the U.S. government. This program contains graphic language, dark comedy, unique intelligence, creativity, a high credit score, and high blood pressure when triggered. This program has also been accused of racism, violence, misogyny, mansogyny, feminism, MGTOWism, defacement of celebrities, and of course, being a bully. Welcome to Thought Crimes. High Musical Priest and ATL in Future has ensnared the mind, hearts, and ears of musical listeners since 2009. The Jimi Hendrix trap offspring has infected the soundscape. In the evolution of the genre known as trap, Future has been able to cement himself along the likes of T.I., Gucci, and Young Jeezy. On the other side of that very same coin, likes of 808's era Kanye West, Lil Wayne, and of course, the simp ballads of T-Pain. Future, however, has decided to take his sound in a completely different direction. Dark ambient trap soul. During the rise of Future, producers and beatsmiths such as Zaytoven, Metro Boomin, and Mike Will Made It were some of the most experimental with sound out of a generation. Kanye West's 808s is credited with shifting the soundscape, but the platform Easy was able to provide created a clear runway for Drake to take off. Future's ethereal energy and his unique vocals serenaded listeners into a following that he has been able to maintain throughout the larger part of his career. But unlike his contemporaries, such as Gucci and Jeezy, Future was not afraid to explore the concept of trap love ballads. And even though T-Pain is largely credited and often criticized for his I'm in love with a stripper approach to R&B and rap, Future began pushing that space forward in a different and a more ominous direction. He had been able to personify raw emotions with a bluesier southern flair. The Dirty Sprite practitioner, who at times was short on words, preferred communication through a unique placement of vocals and haunting musical production. And the sound that Future was able to usher in created a trance-like effect on his listeners. The scandalizing energy of drinks, drugs, gratuitous sex, violence can be found all through Dirty Sprite 2, which is considered the apex of Future's musical essence. A master manipulator of sound, at the height of his rule, Future had every soul in the music industry looking to be a part or resuscitated by his sorcery. Being of Haitian descent, Nevadius Damoun Wilburn operates in a particular hypnotizing energy where the listeners care little about guest features. Very few artists actually complement the raspy trap crooner's vocals. A prime example is clearly displayed on the 2015 collaborative commercial mixtape effort, What a Time to Be Alive, featuring Drake. The best effort of chemistry by both rappers can be found on 2 tracks, Jumpman.
Mutombo with the bitches, you keep getting rejected, ooh! Heard they came through Magic City on a Monday. Heard they had the club while it was star-studded.
And Big Rings.
We need some really big rings. I got a really big team. Man, what a time to be alive. I'm drinking lean.
Apart, both rappers have been able to deliver quality bodies of work. However, together, Drake's light energy many times struggled to complement the dark essence of Future throughout the project. Drake in the past has spoken highly of the ambience resonating from Atlanta under the melodic rulership of Future Hendrix. The darker sound that Drake is referencing came after the emergence of Tennessee Titans 3-6 Mafia and Atlanta natives DJ Toon, Drummer Boy, Shawty Red, Lil Jon, and Lex Luger. By 2009, the production sound wave had become even darker, with the likes of Sunny Digital, 808 Mafia, Metro Boomin, Mike Will Made It, and the second emergence of Atlanta legend Zaytoven. Drake has been unapologetic about his love for those who have influenced him in hip-hop, whether his contemporaries or pioneers. And it was clear that Drake greatly admired the musical energy of Future. But where Drake's energy tends to misfires when collaborating with his Scorpio brother Future is when he attempts to reflect the exact same level of lyrical depravity of Future. The levels of degeneracy Future is able to reach within his rhymes while somehow remaining charming to the listener's ear is clearly exemplified on the track Low Life featuring The Weeknd. Drake actually does his best work when he meets with Future in the middle lyrically while remaining true to his own identity. Perhaps Future and The Weeknd can mesh so well musically is because both artists have an interesting way of making the audience comfortably fall to their lower part of their own consciousness. Both Future and The Weeknd are grand composers of the alluring orchestra life known as the beautiful freefall. Future throughout his career had been skilled in the art of seduction through his music, even while being keenly obscene, graphic, and yet confident with the seductively ridiculing Playboy track, Groupies.
I appreciate the way you fuck me. We can never tell the fucking public. Pussy good enough to make me love it. Pussy good enough to make me love it.
In the industry, there have been many incarnations of Future to downright ripoffs since he landed on Earth from his Pluto beginnings. Future's infectious formula was so potent, the music industry took notice and immediately implemented Order 66 and began dispensing clones of the ATLian native. The first genetically altered specimen of Future Hendrix was a Brooklyn native by the name of Designer. Before the fame, Designer can be seen and heard rapping completely different than his post-fame persona.
Call crash, call it racing out. Bullet kiss him, call it making out. They never said it out of posing, nothing chopping over stuff and making niggas stop forward jumping when I get.
Fans initially mistook Designer for Future on Kanye's The Life of Pablo. Designer would eventually drop his first single, Panda. Within the very same year, Future had released his most successful project, Dirty Sprite 2. And even though Designer's Panda was a monster hit, he was unable to follow up with equal power. And after fans were over the high of Panda and trolling by Designer, which also included performing Future songs from Dirty Sprite 2 live on stage, his career quietly fizzled out. Another great value version of Future that was rolled out ironically the same year as Designer was Post Malone. Who had been billed and advertised as a white Future. Much like Designer, Post Malone originally billed himself differently before the fame.
You would do or say to try and make me change my mind.
Originally, Post Malone was aiming for a more country rock sound. As an aspiring guitarist musician, the New York-born, Texas transplant musical aspirations, however, were repackaged as a trap SoundCloud-focused rapper. But what many industry analysts behind these clones failed in observance of the essence of the rapper Future was that Future not only had the capacity to make hits, but he operated off of a spiritual essence of his Haitian ancestry. Future, ironically, through his music, pulls from the voodoo loa, or god of sexuality and death known as Baron Lacroix. And much like the energy of Future's music, Baron Lacroix is hedonistic and is used to activate one's passionate nature. Future's conjuring and chants have been liberally used to call upon the inner passionate forces that drive his collective base over the years. Many black artists, historically, have been very effective with the powerful conjuring of spiritual forces through all genres of music because, at the end of the day, all of it is African in origin. Next time on Thought Crimes, how the industry was unable to break Rihanna, and how the Barbadian goddess masterminded one of the greatest comebacks in musical history and changing the narrative in a culture that tried to destroy her.
Don't forget to subscribe to Thought Crimes and also our website www.thoughtcrimesworld.com and our Patreon. Peace out, everyone.